Step 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to others with eating disorders and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. Now, let me jump down to what a spiritual awakening is. There's a little asterisk here. So the term spiritual awakening can refer to an event, a vital spiritual experience, or, which has been my case, to a gradual change. We who are atheists also experience a transformation, enabling us to place service before selfishness. This is, I don't know, one of my favorite steps. So go ahead.
I would say real quick, off the top, that again, it's placed as step 12 for a reason, but I feel like after this, maybe it's just my personality, but like anytime I tackle something new and learn something new, I want to go evangelize.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So like, okay, if I do like step 1 and 2, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Everyone needs to be doing this. But like, you need to focus on you. Like, it is important to focus on you for the first 10, 11 steps.
Yeah.
And get grounded and get okay for you. And then you can share that outward. But my tendency is to be like, okay, 1, 2, 12, like
right.
Good to go.
Right.
Like,
well, and that brings up a great point. So many people feel that they're not ready to share with others. But here's the thing: is like our journey, no matter what it is, like no right or wrong, it's going to help someone else. And the nice thing about, so in EDA, chapter 7 is called Working with Others. And it describes what it's like to share our experience, strength, and hope with others who are afflicted as we once were. And our results have been exactly the same. So it literally takes you through like a very scaffolded way to work with others. And it's not that we know anything better. It's not that we are any better. It's not that we've enlightened. We've just had an experience to share with others. And our experience of being in that experience is enough to just share light with someone else. And so we say that if you're working step 12, 2 things. You're sharing the message of recovery with others, whether that's leading a 12-step group, whether that's sponsoring someone, whether that's just being an advocate for recovery. And it's also living a 12-step way of life. Like admitting, like literally rinse, lather, repeat every moment of the 12 steps. Like there's not a day that I don't work one of the steps and or all of the steps, like in a situation at work or in a situation at the grocery store, like, or in a situation at, I don't know, with the UGI utility guy. Like it's an opportunity to work it. Helping others is the foundation of our recovery. A kindly act once in a while is not enough. So what it's doing is it's really speaking about being of service to others and not being stuck in our own way. So I do agree it's a fine line between working the steps for yourself, and though I think it's important to make sure that we work it to help others, to keep us being outside of ourselves and being of service. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. And I think what you said too, that it's not just 1 or 2 things. It's not just, okay, well, I'll sponsor someone, but outside of that sponsor call, I can do whatever. Like, it is a way of life. Like, it has to permeate. And the goal, I would say, not has to. Right. The goal is to permeate every situation.
Well, and I can't tell you how, I mean, I work step 12 by sponsoring others and by leading a 12-step group. I also work step 12 by serving on the board of EDA. And I have to tell you that since I have, I dove way back into EDA as far as working step 12 in February this year when I was at a massive crossroads in my life, going through a terribly nasty business divorce. And when I dove back in, taking steps 10, doing the inventory, 11, daily meditation on the work, and step 12, I have had a leaps and bounds in my relationship with my body and my relationship with food and my relationship with work and my relationship with my family and my kids. Like since February of just this year. So what, like 6-7 months ago, like huge things have happened for me and a massive shift. And I really, life will take on a new meaning. To watch people recover, to see them help others, to watch loneliness vanish, to see a fellowship grow up about you, to have a host of friends. This is an experience you must not miss. We know you will not want to miss it. Frequent contact with newcomers and with each other is a bright spot in our lives. I mean, it is literally, like, it is so fulfilling and gosh, just like so, yeah, like it's my favorite step. I love it. I love sharing the gift.
Yeah, and something you said, like that you dove into this when stuff was really tough.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important point of this isn't something that you wait until things are better to tackle a new project. This isn't a new project. This isn't the next, like, this is a way of life. This is something that at your lowest moment is a way to get to a better place.
Yeah.
Like, I know for myself, I've had those thoughts, or you'll think like, okay, on Monday I'll start.
Oh yeah. Or
X,
next
Y,
month.
Z. And then it's that point. But this is just a matter of just show up as you are, where you're at.
Right.
Take what you can.
And there's no like credentialing for a sponsor. There's no credentialing for working step 12. Like, you do steps 1 to 12 and then you work 10, 11, and 12, 10, 11, and 12. And I often though go back to 1, or I'll have a situation, I had a situation last week around my kids and parenting, and I did the 4th step inventory on shame over and over and over again. I mean, it doesn't mean that I don't go backwards to 1 or 2 or 3, like, it's not, but this constant foundation of recovery, of being of service, is huge. And being of service as a way of life is pretty amazing as a way to stay going forward instead of going back.
Yeah.
And so here are some general things as you're thinking about, and don't think too long, working step 12. The purpose of working step 12 is to be helpful. Be honest about your own story and empathize, not sympathize, but empathize the stories of others. Emphatically assure everyone suffering with an eating disorder that they can get well regardless of anyone or anything. So, like, share with people
that's
that...
just a key point.
Regardless. Like, don't let anything stop you. Listen patiently when someone else blames someone else, and allow them to get responsible for what they can do. Encourage those in groups or sponsees to focus on what they think a person with integrity and dignity would do in each situation. Allow the sponsees or members of the group to work directly with life situations as they are, rather than trying to fix things. Allow newcomers to share with you. Share your experiences. Follow EDA Big Books, Chapter 7. It outlines you right there how to take someone through it. As you work the steps with the newcomers, share your own experience. You don't have to have all the answers. Model the behavior you want your sponsee to adopt. Like, totally, oh my God, holy accountability. Like, I mean, for me, I couldn't actually be in a room of people. And yeah, sure, do I do the not right next thing? Yes. But like, if I engage in a behavior, okay, like, what's the next thing? So I'm not here to say I'll be perfect. In fact, I've had sponsees leave me because they said that I wasn't a perfect recovered person, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. Like, but I'm going to be honest and share. That's where I am. And I just know that for me, working step 12 is actually essential.
Well, and the accountability piece is there in some of those other areas of taking responsibility. Like when you said, we listen patiently when the sponsee blames anyone else. Working this step 12 is a reminder. It's just a good way to stay within the program and keep reminding yourself of these things over and over again. And just, I don't know, being in it. And being in it, and just being in it without the answers. And modeling, I guess, is what, like, being able to model, then it starts to become more of a habit for you. Like, it is sometimes easier to do it if we're modeling for others.
Yes.
It's easier to not
yourself.
swear when your kids are around, because you don't want them to swear. Like, and then it starts to become a piece of you. And so while step 12 is not, like, it is about continued recovery and for yourself, and also, spreading that, hopefully helping others as well. But I feel like there is such a strong piece of this is still helpful to us. Not in a selfish way, but
Yeah.
like it's still like
it's a reminder.
it's still,
yeah. My sponsees are always like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for spending the time with me. I'm sorry. I'm like, you don't, every single EDA meeting that I have, every single board meeting that I'm on, every single sponsee conversation, I completely take things away from it. Like I their experiences inevitably connect to something that I'm working on, or they'll share something that I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I get that. Like it's a gift actually to work step 12.
Yeah.
So this is something interesting about when am I ready to work step 12? So EDA suggests that when a person has finished 1 through 8 and made significant progress in making amends and has adopted a daily practice of steps 10 and 11, we are encouraged to start working with others. It can be via phone, via Skype, via email. Look, I have sponsees that are in the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast. I have sponsees that are in other countries. My sponsor was in California. She was in Vancouver. And we had to connect like through all different ways and means and different time zones and everything. But my work with her was one of the paramount foundations of my recovery, and so I feel only honorable to be able to give back and work this step 12. And so, sharing our journey with others will turn out to be an opportunity through honesty, integrity, compassion, and hope. And so, I would strongly encourage you, when you're able to take step 12. Share the message with others. Practice the principles in all of your affairs. And if you're ready to start working step 12, you can email sponsors at Eating Disorders Anonymous and let us know via there or the website that you're willing and ready to work with others. We have a long waiting list of people who are interested in working with someone who's interested in working step 12. And so if you're interested in working step 12, there are others who are ready to work step 12 with you. And like truly in a community, that's how it'll work.
What was the email address again?
The email address is sponsors at eatingdisordersanonymous.org. And if you forget that, all the information plus the 12th step and chapter 7 for working with someone else can be found on the eatingdisordersanonymous.org website.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.